All right. Okay, so the recording is on, and we are going to be discussing, can leadership be taught? And I see all three of you muted. So who wants to go first?
Yeah, I Brijesh, I would like to go first.
Sure.
So, being taught, I am not entirely sure about that. Yeah, means there are some people who will be able to teach that, but I am definitely, I am certain that one can definitely learn how the leadership skills. So, I will try to share my example as well. So. See, throughout my career journey till date, I have seen like different type of leaderships, right? So I know that I kind of observe them, and from that I have experienced them obviously, and from that I now able to understand what should be there and what shouldn't be there, right? Apart from that, in one of my previous organization there was a situation like so there was like no so the current team lead had left the organization for the better opportunity, and till the time we got new the new team lead, so it was around maybe 6 months duration or so. Till that time we were given like some of the responsibilities to be to kind of handle the team, and likewise. So during that also, so at that time I tried to use whatever I have learned by observing and working with the leaders which I have worked in the past. Apart from that, I was also trying to read on the internet that what should be done, what should not be done. And of course even with, but it was still but of course I learned some more things when I actually during those 6 months I learned some more things, because some things cannot be taught. It comes with experience only. So it's kind of mix and match. I cannot say that one can learn 100% of leadership skills by just observing or reading and another thing, and likewise. But it's not but at the same time it's not like you cannot learn it. Okay, so it depends on you, and if there is some good tutor, then you can learn from that directly as well. But yeah, but I think some of things can be learned with experience only. So that's what my take is on this topic. Yeah, thank you.
That was good. Any other opinion? Can we teach leadership to somebody? Parish, good morning. Chandra, good morning.
Morning, everyone. Morning, Brijesh.
So yeah, Chandra, since you spoke, can you? What is your thought? Can we teach
Uh,
leadership to somebody?
so, to me, I don't think you can really teach someone. It's more about experience and how you learn and how you take from your surroundings and the work or even your life. It's more about gradually improving. It's not something there is a course and I can just enroll and become a leader. It is not possible. Even if it is the best institute, you cannot be a leader just by following certain ABC steps. It's something which comes from the experience, and some exception people say it comes naturally to them, but it's more of a path which we follow, to me.
Yeah, that's a very interesting comment. I am just hoping that Seema is able to join this conversation, because it was out of a conversation between Seema and me that this topic came out. And we thought that this is good, that people should be able to express their opinion about what they think, because you know, of late a lot of people are trying to emphasize on a lot of leadership training and coaching, and trying to teach other people how to be leaders, uh, and that actually baffles me to a great extent, and that's why I thought maybe it's a good idea to discuss that. uh, well, so Priya, Parish, MG, your thoughts.
Good morning, all. My name is Mamta. I'm first time joining this, and thanks to Brijesh that you brought this opportunity to us to discuss this different topics. So my opinion is that we can learn also, and someone can taught us also. Like if you have experienced the things in while your career time, so you can teach that thing to your juniors and the person who is a fresher. So the case study you can present in front of that, like I had this situation, so I have acted like this, I have took these steps to handle this situation. So it can be learned, means we can learn by theoretically readings also, and we can learn with the person, with the experienced person also, so he or she can share their experience also. But more on that we want to know in this discussion, what can be.
Right. Thank you, Mamta. Thank you. Uh, Priya?
Hi everyone and hi Brijesh. I feel uh, I don't exactly understand the difference between the mentoring and coaching. So whatever it is, but that would definitely help in building up leadership abilities in somebody. So that's what I feel that can happen. I mean, experience coupled with coaching or mentoring can help somebody uh, with the leadership abilities. This is what I would say.
Okay, that's a different perspective. Now, so there are a few things, okay, and good that Priya you brought this up. Okay, so there are a few things. Uh, Coaching, mentoring, uh, training, and teaching are different, in my opinion. Okay, and they have their own goals and own mechanisms. So essentially, the question is: can you teach somebody, and can somebody pick up, take classes and become a leader? Okay, that was the question. And in all honesty, I have my doubts about that, but good that this perspective is also coming out, that okay, maybe you can coach on certain aspects, maybe you can mentor somebody. uh, and I also hear from others that okay, it is about sharing experience, learning from our own experiences, learning from others experiences. Again, you know again, it's a very broad thing. So Parish,
Hey,
sir.
Vijay, hey everyone. So I think, well, honestly speaking, I think the topic itself is a little confusing. Why I feel so is that leadership is a big game altogether, and I would not be very sure if six of us in this call would agree to one definition of leadership.
Correct.
Okay. For me, a leader can be a completely different entity versus what you see as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the qualities which I see can be learned. The qualities which you see in a leader may not be learned. Okay.
Correct.
So I think everybody would have their own definition. The point is, I think the bigger point is that what kind of leaders do we want to follow? Okay, what qualities we look at, and if we can narrow down on five or six qualities, we can talk about them whether they can be learned or not. Okay. The other perspective is, or the other angle to this question is, what is the time of learning? What is the window of learning? I can learn certain things in 20 years, like courage. It
Mm-hmm.
cannot be taught in a 2 hour session or a 20 hours coaching session,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if my family is upbringing in such a way that courage is the utmost thing, I will of course learn courage and I will be a leader with that quality as well. Okay. So I think these are the certain aspects. Leadership is a very big thing, and everybody has their own likes and dislikes about it. We all know Hitler has been a leader. Saddam Hussein has also been a big leader, big following. But do we want that? Again, I do not want to go into politics, but certain things which we want to see. There was a great leader. I think that was it was Infosys, right? Mr. Sikka.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us liked him very much, even though we were not part of the organization for what he was doing. But eventually, he was fired. He was let go of the organization because the board did not find him a good leader. So I think more than having a generic term as leadership or leaders, we need to narrow down to some qualities and talk about those.
Right, fair point. Absolutely fair point, and I quite agree with you, Parish, that this is a very broad topic and could be a very generalized thing, and that's why it makes it very difficult for people to understand. And you're absolutely right. Certain things which you perceive as qualities of leadership, which can be learned, which can be taught and learned, may not be the qualities that I am looking for. And for example, okay, if I were to give an example of certain qualities that a leader should have, number one, in my opinion, is humility. And humility is something that you can't teach in a class, right? You can't teach somebody how to be humble. It has to come on your own. You can see examples of people who are extremely humble, learn from their experience, learn from the way they treat people, and they get treated themselves, and then see the same thing happening with you as you try to follow certain things that they do, the humble leaders. So that's something that purely comes out of learning from somebody else's experience, somebody else's behavior, which is absolutely true. But then there can be
Right,
some.
absolutely. I will share with you. I worked with a manager. He was a CTO kind of in a role, and completely opposite of humble. Okay? No humility at all. Right? Very big leader in the industry, very big following, and very good goals and results obtained. So that is what I was saying, right? This is the difference. There are people following him as a leader. He is a leader. But yes, I mean, do I weigh it as a good leader? Do I weigh it as a good quality in a leader? Probably not, right? I would prefer somebody who gives me half of the results, but is a very humble person who respects others.
Right.
So no, this is why I was saying that leadership is a very big game altogether.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And good that you bring in this perspective, Parish. Because again, going by the same example that you gave, that somebody who's giving you results but is not humble, the organization may look at him as a great leader because he's giving the results. But some of the people around him might not appreciate him not being humble enough, right? So you're absolutely right on that. Well, today we have Teapot also with us. So, Teapot, what are your thoughts? You're on mute, brother.
Good morning.
Morning.
I've been listening to what you're saying since I joined. Hi,
Hey.
just woke up. Right. So, yes, sometimes or most of the time, we become the people we've observed and learned from. The danger there is we need to be mindful of who we learn from. Way early in my career, I've worked with some managers that I absolutely want to be like. And these guys have taught me quite a lot of things. But sometimes when we are looking at people and we're trying to learn from them, they might not be aware that we are. And the danger there is we learn that bad habit as well, because everyone has one. So yes, leadership can be learned, but at the same time, it falls on the individual to be who people can try to want to be like. That's the way I say it. Sometimes when I look at people, I've worked with some fantastic managers that have taught me a lot of things. I've worked with a manager that I could if he calls me right now, I'll drop everything I'm doing and go there. Because he taught me outside of work as well. He taught me how to be a leader, really. And he said to me one day that I should not carry the tag manager or director in my head, because most of the time I'm not doing a lot. People are doing it. I'm just monitoring and leading them. And he said to me that I should try to enable the people that I've given that responsibility to. I should give them everything they need. I should support them. I am their assistant, even though they see me as their leader. I am just their assistant. And that's something that stuck with me. Because in reality, most of the time, as managers or directors or whatever title we've got, we don't actually do a lot. It's our team that does almost all of the things. We collate stuff, we write reports, we analyze reports, we go to meetings, yes. But when it comes to doing the doing, we have a team of people that do it. One of the things that I found that is very productive from leaders to their team is respect. If a leader respects his or her team a lot, that team will be very productive. Now, having a leader that respects their team is not something you see every day.
Yeah.
And that has to be learned from someone who has absolutely done it, from someone who knows the potency of it, from someone who have done it before, who have learned it, or who have taught someone else before. So yes, it is a two-way street. Well, I think it is learned. That is my opinion. I think it is learned. We just must be careful who we learn from. So that's my contribution. Thank you.
Well, you brought a good point here, but I have a question for you, Teapot.
Okay.
So, to be a leader, and maybe Parish also, because Parish also used the word manager while he was describing what he was saying. To be a leader, do we have to have that seniority, like have a designation of a manager or somebody?
Not necessarily. Um, the
So the
title,
moment we start talking of leaders, we quote examples of people who are our managers. Why so?
yes, yeah, because that is obvious. Those are the people everyone wants to learn from. No one wants to learn from someone they don't know or someone down the line, because we do, but no one really admits to it,
Yeah, acknowledges it. Yeah, okay.
acknowledges it. So when we cite that example, it's obvious that we're going to go that way. But if you want to tell people to learn from someone, for example, someone in your team, how would you even qualify that? You can say to people, oh, watch what XYZ is doing and try to do it. You've just cited an instant. That person is not in any position of responsibility. So people might say to you that they have no reasons to want to copy that person, because they might wake up tomorrow and that person might be gone. So that is why I've started those things. But it doesn't have to be a manager or a director or anybody senior. If we are trying to build our character in learning and productivity, we absolutely must learn from anyone. It doesn't matter if this person is way down the ladder or up down the ladder or there's no ladder. We just need to learn the good bit that we can reciprocate and teach other people. Like the example I gave you, I've learned from other people as well. Like people, a guy walked into my office some years ago, and he's a fresh graduate. He was a fresh graduate by then, and he's been speaking to my manager over through email, and then he just decided to come into the office. So he came into the office, met my manager, and my manager walked him down to my desk and said, Jacobs, I have this young man for you. I won't mention his name. I have this young man for you. He wants to learn testing. And I said, okay. So I asked the guy that, why do you want to learn testing? He said, well, I don't know what you guys do in this office. I've been speaking to your manager. I'm a fresher. I just want to learn whatever it is you guys does in this office. I went, okay, I'll teach you. Take a seat. So he sat down. I was passing some documentation to him. That was the first day. What really stuck to me that day was around 6 o'clock when we are all leaving the office and going home. This guy was still at his desk. So I went to him and said, closing time, mate, we have to go. We need to shut down the office and lock the door and stuff. And he went, oh, I didn't plan on sleeping. I just came here to learn. And I went, okay, but you can't stay in the office forever. Yeah, you have to go home and then come back. And he said, well, you didn't plan that. I said, where do you live? He said, I live in London. This is in Bristol. I said, okay, where's your backpack? He said, I don't have any. He just came with a bag. He was prepared to stay in the office for as long as possible to learn whatever he came to learn. And that was about 11 years ago. And this guy is a practicing tester for the past 10 years. And that stuck with me. Focus. That was what he came for. Nothing else. I was like, that's dangerous. You are far away from home. He said, to be honest with you, I didn't think about any of that. I just know that I want to come and learn whatever you guys are doing in the office. Now, that's something I have learned. And this guy was not even on my team. So I learned that from him. Focus. That is why he came there. So we could learn from anywhere. But it's difficult to cite those examples because, first of all, we need to find a name for it. And I don't think we have that name for it. It's easier to say, I've learned from X, Y, Z, whom people know, because that validates your story. That validates your lesson. But when you say, I've learned from Mr. A, the first question a lot of people will go through is, who is Mr. A? What has Mr. Hay done? How do I know Mr. Hay? What? So that kinds of invalidates most of the stories, which it shouldn't, but it does. In reality, we are humans. We go alongside with things we can easily connect to. So if you say to me, someone's helped you, I want to see if that person can help me too. So when you say your manager has done X, Y, Z, taught you this, the next thing you know, all of us are rushing to go find your manager or director because he has helped you. And we believe he can help us. But if you say someone low down there in your team somewhere with less experience than you are helped you, people will probably clap and that's it. So that's why we always cite those examples. But absolutely, anyone can teach everyone anything or
No,
something.
I have a similar example, and I have been sharing this for some time now. So a few weeks ago, rather in the month of May, we released an ebook called 21 Days, 21 Tips, and the effort for putting together that ebook was actually led, rather managed by Sahitya, and Sahitya is one of the youngest members of the test chat community. She I think has almost close to 2 years of experience now, and she did the whole thing, and she gave us some wonderful lessons of how to stay calm, how to stay focused, how to and all of us working with her have more than 10 years of experience, but she did not care about it. She took up the responsibility and did what was necessary to get the job done. And she would she never hesitated to even tell us that we were overshooting the target date or anything like that. She was crystal clear in her communication. She organized stuff properly. She took everybody's opinion. She knew that everybody's opinion does matter. She took, but she was firm on her decisions, and those are certain things which definitely can be learned if we are not doing it. And I was so impressed by the way she did it. And I see a lot of us, in spite of being seniors, have been spent so many years in the industry, we still don't do some of the things that she was doing. And those were my learnings. So it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, if somebody is a senior or a junior, or if I may use that word, what matters is what they bring to the table and are able to teach us. Yeah, Parish, I see you unmuted.
Right, right. So because absolutely, what Teapot was saying and what you're saying, completely agreeing with that. So I will tell you what my definition of leadership is. My definition of a leader is somebody I would like to follow. As
Mm-hmm.
simple as that, right? Now that could be anybody. It could be my grandparents, which of course they were when I was small, when I was young, and they were there. Now I'll tell you one story, and I think it's a deja vu kind of moment for me that you asked this question about the example of leadership. I was doing a session on the leadership, I think 2 years back, and the same day it was some event in Pune, and I saw very young kids, very small children holding placards in their hands. No honking, no horns, drive safely. Okay, and you know, right? Pune heat in the month of May, June, right?
Yeah.
It was very hot, and those kids were standing there, and I felt not so much emotional about that. That okay, these are the leaders for me. When there are people who can't even get up by 8 o'clock in the morning, these guys are standing on the roads holding these placards for next 3 4 hours in the heat. Okay, so that was leadership for me. We do not need managers or directors or senior managers to become our leaders. Anybody could be our leader, whoever we want to follow. As simple as that.
You're absolutely right on that, Parish. You're absolutely right. Well, I see a lot of other people joining. Nikhil, good morning. Dheeraj, Chetan, Gaurav, good morning. And good afternoon, Priscilla. At least
Good
there is somebody whom
afternoon.
we could say good afternoon. Because
Yeah, I just had my lunch, so it was a bit late,
see,
Brijesh.
look, so you're making people in India jealous because you've already had it. And I'm sitting here even without having breakfast. So
Oh.
it's a little, well, it's breakfast time already. It's 8 o'clock.
Mm, yeah, and it was like I really planned to join in morning. I liked the topic, so I wanted to join.
Good. So
So
what is your thought, Priscilla, on this since you're talking?
okay. First thing is like uh, to your question, yes, it can be because leadership. I believe that is an acquired skill. I would say like you can acquire it, but the checkpoints are like only when you are interested to be a leader, where you feel that you have the capability so that you can be a leader. Unless until that, right? You will never be like feel that you're good enough and you are a leader, and you always wanted to stay low. I think some fighting is going between my husband and my kid outside. I'm hearing some scary noises right now. I can't let them for even a while. So um, this is something I believe like most of us would have already seen the movie Intern. The Intern, that was one of like how to say. I wish like every software professional should definitely see this movie because we have a lot of takeaways from that. One thing is like a 70-year-old as a person, how he is admiring a younger generation doing their works, how much like efficiently and how much photo he is taking up. And that doesn't mean like he doesn't have all the capabilities. So the age doesn't matter, the experience doesn't matter, unless and until you strongly believe that you are a leader and there is a team dependent on you, because that is one thing like it should be forcing you always. So where there is a team dependent on you, definitely you will automatically learn your skills, and you will be naturally become a leader. I believe, Brijesh, and I have also learned too many things throughout my career from my mentors and mentee, like the person, even the mentees, of course, I would say. Uh, Keep a thought, as I always say, like everybody has at least one thing like where you can learn something new from about them. So be open and be willing and make sure that like you have something to take care of and you have a team to lead, and definitely you will be a natural leader.
And the style, of course, I'm not like too much towards this kind of leadership style, this kind of leadership style. You can create your own, it can be your own style, and that is, of course, always customizable. And even we learn every day, and based on our learnings, like our skills will definitely improve. So this thing, like one thing I wanted to quote is like technology, experience, age doesn't matter. So as far as you are willing and you have that, you when you trust in yourself, you can definitely be a good leader, and leadership comes naturally to you.
Well, no, that's a very fair point, and in fact, you've just re-emphasized what Parish was saying a short while ago, that he was so impressed by some of the kids holding
Mm,
placards, early, in the morning, in the heat of May in Pune,
mm,
and that is
mm,
quite
mm,
incredible how people can actually do that. And young kids
mm,
were showing the way, so they could, they are indeed the leaders that we would like to be.
mm,
Have that focus, have that, you know, uh, that grit and that
mm,
determination that okay, this needs to be done and this can be done, and we don't care about
mm.
what's happening around us. Not even the weather can actually stop us. So great example, Parish. I think it's a bit emotional too to actually see kids do that, but it's a perfect example. Gaurav, I like
Yeah,
Gaurav.
I think, yeah, I'm the here.
Gaurav shares so much.
So I think it can be learned, as last weekend Pradeep took a session on leadership, and where I think I could not attend it because of some personal work, but Lavanya shared very good notes on Twitter, that it that how a leader should celebrate the should learn to celebrate the one of other people, like what other people are achieving, and how he uses the word servant leadership. So
Mhm.
there is a lot of things that can be learned, like how you are leading this TTC group and continuously leading it from the front and taking so many interviews every weekend and planning it very well. So that is like that I learned from you, that you sent an invite 21 days ago. So how well it is organized. So those are the things that people have, and you have, and there are some explicit attributes which people can tell and you start learning, and there are some other attributes which you see from the behavior and you have to adopt according to that. Like you will see various managers also, so their designation is manager, but they have certain qualities, because there is a difference between manager and leader. So we have to know that difference, and it can be learned from anyone. Like it's not that a person should have an experience of, like, may say 5 years, then you think that she's a leader. For example, Sahitya, she compiled that book TTC, that book of tester tips. So
Yeah.
that's a very good example of being a leader. So I think it can be learned.
Well, yeah, good point, Gaurav, especially on the difference between a manager and a leader, and that is something very important. Well, yeah, Pradeep took a session, and even I missed it for some reason. I also wanted to be in that, but since that came at a short notice, and you are right that my activities are planned well in advance, so I could not accommodate Pradeep's training. Though I have requested if he can do another one, maybe for us. Let's see if he has the time to do that. Then maybe all of us who missed the session can benefit out of it. Well, Dheeraj, we know your password now because all this while there was that code that was on the screen. I hope that was not your password, Dheeraj. I don't know if he's there. Are you there,
And
Dheeraj?
just one more, yeah, sorry, Brijesh.
Yeah, Priscilla, go ahead.
And just one more thing, Brijesh, it's not like the leader or the manager have the leadership skills. I believe like even the least, the top, the corner, the last bencher, everybody has their own leadership skills, right? But some people prefer to expose it and develop it, and some really prefer to stay low. And I just take a note and to register, like There is nothing to hurt or to make mock or to make fun of people who wanted to stay low. It's their own
Choice.
thought and it's their freedom. They can be in their place, and we are not supposed to like push them also. It's up to them, because that is what I wanted to quote that intern movie also. He is as a person, like the 70-year-old guy wanted to stay in his place. He wanted to serve his boss. He wanted to be like the grace which he carried on the movie, right? That will be very, very excellent actually. So he wanted to stay in his place. So everybody is special in their own way. So we cannot push people to learn also. So they are happy in their place. Like we should just leave it to them.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely agree with that. So, so one of the things one of the qualities that we've spoken a little bit about is focus. Now, let's say I do not know for how many people focus is an important leadership attribute, but I certainly feel it is one of them. So, can focus be learned? Can focus be taught? Let me make it really specific. Can you teach somebody to focus?
I think it's possible. Uh, it's like, see, means the way things are changing, means in last 1.5 year, or maybe can't remember the exact time even now, but in that time, kind of we all started work from home, and yeah, we are all using, means their mobiles. Just I'm just giving one example, right? So if people, so we have to be, so as a person it's our responsibility, that during that work hours, like whatever we were doing in the, even though we are working at home, working from home, right? So previously whenever we were at home, we may have habit to check mobile once in a while. Okay, but now since we are working, so we have to make sure that whenever we are working, so it should not be, so focus should be on there, because mobile can be very distractive, the notifications can be very distractive. So this was one of the aspect. I think another aspect is, I think if people can do some practice, whatever they believe in, like meditating or any other practice, so by using those practice also, they can learn how to be more attentive and have more focus and not get distracted. That's what my perspective on this question.
Yeah. Thank you, Faiz, and thankfully, I don't know, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but for the past many years, I don't know, I don't even know how many years, the notifications on my phone are usually turned off. I turn them on maybe once or maybe twice a day, but that's it. Okay, so so that's one easy distraction that is off my uh, list. So, and that helps because I have a few phones, not one phone. I have a few phones because I use them for testing, and notifications keep popping up, so I just turn the notifications off on all the phones. That is a good way to focus. And yeah, it can be. I kind of agree with you, Faiz, but I'm still a little doubtful if you can teach somebody to focus. You can ask them to maybe do certain things like turn off notifications, do meditation. But what if the person is still not focused?
It comes by practice, Brijesh, because what he said is very true. Because I had the same problem, like checking on the phone, and also since we are working from home, right? During the workday, frequently checking on my LinkedIn, my Facebook, that became a habit. Then I felt like this is so crazy, because in office, while maybe going to office during the transit, we'll check the phone for personal messages, and during the lunchtime, or maybe like while returning back home. But this is not fair. Like we are doing it so often. So even I made a habit of keeping my phone away for like at least I have the habit like starting my day early nowadays. So first thing is like after getting early, at least I made sure like not touching my mobile or any checking my mails, at least for 1 hour. For the first 1 hour, I will not use it. And after that, during my coffee or something, I'll immediately check all my mails and my LinkedIn and all those things, and I'll keep it away. And once I start work, at least for the first 1 or 1.5 hours, I'll not turn away to any distractions. I wanted to, because that 1.5 hours, I'll make sure that I'm planning something productive, which is going to be a win-win situation for me and also for my project or my organization. I'll make sure that, and end of the day, I keep checking my LinkedIn. But in some cases, really, what happened is like those are the days some people really needed me in LinkedIn. So they'll be waiting for my messages, and there will be some stuck ups they'll be waiting. I'll be thinking on this is very bad. Like I planned something and I wanted to keep my phone away for a while, and that is where people really looking for me. So we really need to think. But as you said, it's really tough. I agree. That is very very tough to be focused and keep pushing away the distractions. But playing something like recently, I felt like playing chess for a while. That really helped me like to stick on to one thing like at least for an hour or 1.5 hours. Right now, I'm just not opening any other tabs related to LinkedIn, my blog pages, right? Just something to my project, and if even if I'm browsing in Google, that is also related to my script or something. So I had made that habit, but chess is helping me right now nowadays to some extent, I will say.
Also, some tips coming out here are turning off notifications, doing some meditation, playing.
Brijesh, I would
Yeah,
like to
Chandra.
add,
Yeah, Chandra.
probably you are already aware, but Google has come up with digital well-being. I'm frequently from last 2 months. It has option to define specific apps you will be using for how many in a day, and there is option of enabling DND. Say for example, my work hours for 4 hours, make sure that all the notifications get turns off automatically,
Yeah.
and the moment that timeline is everything is on. So I mean things like that can help, the way you guys are saying. But of course you cannot really teach someone to, you say do this and you'll be able, this is something not really
Well,
possible.
here's the fun thing, Chandra. We are talking about focus. iOS 15 is coming soon. So the beta is already out. People are testing it. And one of the features in iOS 15 is called focus. It lets you set timing according to your wishes on the phone as to what activity you are doing. For example, there are some preset focuses available. For example, home, work. I think another one was gym or something like that. So what you could do is when you are at home, all your work related apps, notifications, everything is shut off. Nothing comes to you. Okay, no notifications. When you are at work, nothing to do with home or anything comes to you. Okay, you can of course change the settings. You can make some of them available. For example, if you have a baby monitor at home and you are at work, obviously baby monitor will be required when you are at work. So if that generates a notification, you would want to know about it. So you can change that setting in that particular app and make that available. So that is one feature that even Apple has worked on. It is in my opinion a copy of of Google well-being, but app,
Yeah.
iOS is copying many features from
Yeah,
Android.
and if anyone is a OnePlus user, they can use Zen mode as well.
Zen mode, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I think maybe Apple is following the
No,
another Apple from the Android space.
Apple has uh, followed Android for quite a lot of features. And in fact, one of the best features that I like about the upcoming iOS 15 is that they're going to have FaceTime for Android as well. So Apple users can actually send FaceTime requests to Android phone. Android users can join through a browser. So which is cool, I think. So so
And I think
people can't say that I don't have an iPhone and I can't join a FaceTime call. Yeah, Parish, please go ahead.
So on focus, I think the simple answer is yes, it can be learned by practice. But the thing is that it is not just technology. We have been talking about Android
Right.
and iPhone. It is not just that, right? We have to control our mind to get focused. A
Yes.
very common saying is that there are people in the temples praying and worrying about their footwear outside. They're not able to focus even on God when they're in the temple.
Yeah.
So, without technology or with technology, the idea is to focus our mind, and with the right techniques to learn. I think you said about meditation and mindfulness, etc. Focus can be learned, and I have learned that when I started my career, I was completely out of focus. I used to do multiple things together without focusing on one thing, leading to not completion of anything. But gradually, I learned that how important it is to focus on one thing and complete it rather than putting all my energies on hundreds of things and not getting anything completed. So somebody has to tell us the benefit of number one being focused, and then by constantly practice mindfulness, we can learn how to focus.
That's absolutely right. In fact, I will share my secret here today. It's not a secret actually, but my way of doing things. So every morning I have a list of three things to do during the day. Okay, and I'm talking about work wise. So three things that I would want to achieve at work on a particular day, and I have that done every day, and I have had that practice for over 15 years now. And if I can get a fourth or a fifth thing also accomplished during the day, that's a bonus, obviously. But I always go with that, and that is what helps me focus, that okay, these are the things that I need to get done no matter what. Okay, and of course I try my utmost best to keep my work day limited to 8 hours. I do not work more than 8 hours because my family also needs my time, especially because of the fact that we are working from home and I'm at home, and so there is obviously you know a greater interaction between me and my family now. So it's very easy for me to get distracted, but these three things, the list that I make helps me get through the day, and during the day I take stock of what I started with and what I have accomplished so far, and then what I need to do. So that's my focus mantra. That's how I do it. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right, Parish. Whether it's technology or not, the idea is to get the mind to focus, to understand whether we can do what we need to do. And this is not just a focus is not just a leadership skill, but it is a skill which anybody and everybody can benefit from. And, yeah.
But in fact, focus is one thing. There are other more difficult qualities somebody may get time to learn or have time focusing on, like integrity. You cannot teach somebody integrity, transparency, honesty, right? I mean, these are long term grooming people have gone through, and we cannot change them in 1 year, 2 year, 5 years by whatever training or coaching or mentoring they may require, right? So no, these are some of the other aspects we look at our leaders, but no, can't be easily learned. There are things we can learn, like focusing or wherever technology or somebody can help, but certain behavioral aspects which have been long groomed cannot be easily get away from us.
Absolutely. You cannot teach somebody to have integrity or to be
Or
honest
empathy.
or empathy. Yes. In fact, Parish, a fun fact, a lot of leadership coaching that is available, you have these leadership coaches and things like that. A lot of it is trying to sell to the market that they are actually teaching somebody to have more empathy. And I find that weird, but it'll be interesting to try and experiment with some as to how they are trying uh, to teach that. Because because when you talk about empathy, it has got a few dimensions to it. It is not a one-dimensional thing or a two-dimensional thing that can be so straightforward that you tell somebody to have empathy and the next morning that person wakes up with a lot of empathy for everyone around. It doesn't happen that way. It
Brijesh, can I quickly add something?
Please go ahead.
You see, in addition to focus, I try to teach people discipline and time management. You see, you can take away people's notification. You can force the horse to the water. You can't make the horse drink water. The problem most people think they have is they are being distracted. But when you save them that time, what exactly did they do with it? And that is where discipline comes in. It's not just enough that you saved minutes there, an hour there during the day, you've turned off all notification and all of that, and then you went to bed to sleep. If you really want to sleep, fine. If that is why you're saving the time, you're all well and good. But if you're saving that time to do something else, I mean, you have to have the discipline to do it. A lot of people struggle to work from home because they lack discipline.
Yeah.
A lot of people struggle to work independently on their home because they have poor time management skills. So alongside focus goes discipline and time management. If one can pull together those three things, they will be very, very productive. In fact, they won't need to tell anyone. People will naturally learn from them. So that's just my contribution before I drop off in a minute. Thank you.
Well, yeah, very good points made there. But I think it's very important to have that discipline, and you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. And to the point that Parish was making, I mean, empathy, integrity, honesty. Well, very, very difficult. So, Parish, a lot of sales going on around your house. Scrap and
Yeah.
then mango.
Right. He's coming. I can hear him now.
Okay. Well, it happens only in India, as they say. So I was missing that kabaddi wale, that tone for quite a long time. I hadn't heard that, but it was refreshing for me actually. Well, well, okay. So I think great discussion so far. We've learned quite a few things. At least I have. A few good points that have come out of this discussion. Is there anything else that anybody else would want to bring in to the discussion today?
Brijesh, can we do a quick round table? Everybody sharing three qualities they look at the leaders. All of us we share what we as followers want in our leaders. Just three qualities.
Okay, good one. Okay, so Parish, why don't you start?
Well, I think top of the list is integrity, as I
Mhm,
was telling. Uh, Listening skills number two,
mhm.
and third would be transparency.
Great, awesome, awesome. Okay, Priya.
The first would be integrity and trust. I'm calling out both together.
Okay.
Um, then the ability to connect to people,
Mhm.
and the intent to help.
Good ones. Thank you, Priya. Mamta. Mamta.
I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So the same way Parish and Priya said, integrity the first one, and uh, helpfulness to the people, and the third one is uh, like it is just yeah, just two from my side.
Okay. Fair enough. I see that Gaurav has dropped. Chandra.
From my side, honesty would be the first one. Honesty and integrity both together. Ability to inspire and help me with the truthfulness, and of course the communication, so that it conveys clearly what I'm intent to also. It is more of a manager kind of thing I'm telling. That's from my side.
Okay. Nikhil?
Yeah, Brijesh. Trust and integrity. After that, communication. People should not the ego, should not pursue the ego, and respect for the other's opinion. This is from my side.
Okay. Good ones. Priscilla?
Yeah, Brijesh. So as a leader, first point, I should know when I should be a dominant person and when I should let the team decide for me. I would say, because that is my topmost. And second one, truth. I want to be like that. Truthfulness will make them like to trust on me. So truth or trust, which is very important. And other than that, mm, the art of doing the work, because once I do my art, and once, because as a leader or as a manager, I always believe like first I should know the work, and only then I can delegate it and I can extract it properly. So the art of doing the work. So this is my top three.
Okay. Faiz?
Uh, I think it would be empathy first, then followed by what can I say? Means they should be. It is a very broad one, but they should be able to lead by example in many aspects. Like, for example, Priscilla said that they should know work first, then then they should delegate likewise. And third, I think it's important, and I think it's a tough one. It's a conflict resolving ability to handle such kind of situations. Yeah, so that would be three from my side.
Good ones. Gaurav is also here on time. Gaurav, what are your top three qualities that you look for in a leader?
I think should be transparent, and the second one would be a good listener, so that when he takes decision, he, though he can take bold decisions, but he should listen to everyone what people are talking about, and don't get into that. And the third one would be don't get into that managing zone, be a leader. Yeah.
Right. And for me, the top three qualities that I would like to see in leaders. Number one is authenticity. Is no matter what, that person should be authentic enough. It should not be that in different places I behave differently. I should be me always. I mean, the leader should be himself or herself always. Authenticity goes number one for me. Number two is humility. The person should be humble enough in all situations. And number three is empathy. Empathy is a very important thing according to me. If somebody lacks empathy, then I feel that I have my own doubts in calling that person as a leader. I mean, yeah, he may be portrayed as a leader, but without empathy, that thing doesn't qualify for me. I mean, that's my personal opinion. We can have debate if somebody has a different opinion, but that's what it is. So that's a good list. Thank you, Parish, for suggesting that. It was good to understand from different people what they are looking for in leaders. And yesterday, I read a quote, a beautiful quote written by somebody on LinkedIn. And I can relate that to leadership to a great extent. And it was very simple. Message, probably the shortest post that I have read on LinkedIn. It said, "Be the senior that you always wanted to have as a junior." So as a when you were a junior, whatever you qualities you expected from your senior, be that. So be the leader that you've always wanted to have in your life. Yeah. So Gaurav has a message in chat. What is Gaurav saying? Yeah. Good one, Gaurav. But yeah, in the context of our discussion, yeah, be the leader that you've always wanted to have. Yeah, so that's that.
And I think the whole idea of doing this roundtable was that now since we have shared what we want. Can we all start practicing this if we are not doing it already?
Yeah.
Right? Like a religion. If we can start following that, probably we will be better leaders for somebody else
Yeah.
who look at these three or whatever number of qualities in a leader. We can be a good leader.
Yeah. I will go ahead and share the a little a story where you know a personal story. So you know how I learned about authenticity, especially is by observing my mother. Okay, and my mother, when she used to go out, she always preferred to have tea, no matter whatever people are serving, she didn't really care about. She would always prefer to have tea. So we were at some celebration, and she was so there. Every tea was not available. It was all different kinds of drinks and all that. And when the waiter came and asked her, she simply went ahead and asked, "Can I have some tea?" And to that, the host who was there, was kind enough. He heard her and he said, "Of course you can." And he asked a special preparation for her. And then, immediately realizing that a lot of people took that, uh, uh, you know, and started saying, asking for tea. So that for me was a turning point. And I looked at my mom and I was like, I said, "Mom, they were not serving tea," but she said, "But I like tea, so why should I change according to what the environment is? I like tea. If they said they did that there is no tea available, I would have said, okay, it's fine that you don't have tea. But why should I drink something else which I don't like?" And that was for me the biggest turning point in my life, when I said a person can be authentic at all times. She was herself at that time, in that moment, and that was a big lesson for me personally, which I saw it happen, and I have been influenced by that. So that brings me to authenticity, and I try and be myself under all circumstances. I have my shortcomings. I have my pitfalls, and I don't care much if they are exposed, because at the most, what is going to happen? Somebody is going to help me through my shortcomings. Somebody is going to help me learn stuff, and that's absolutely okay for me. So that's where I get my things. And Parish, you're absolutely right. It is tough to actually practice what we are looking for. These three qualities to start with. It is tough to practice, but I can assure you that if you really 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 want, you can actually practice them with ease.
Absolutely, Brijesh. And I think the story you shared, there are more things to learn, right? When I'm listening this, I get two more very explicable qualities outside. One is courage.
Yeah.
She had the courage to say what she wants, right? She did not feel intimidated. Okay, no, I should not do that. She was
Yeah.
not shy. No, no, I should not do this. I'm this yet something like that. She had the courage.
Yeah.
And third thing is humility, right? As you said, that she was okay. If he is not available, I'm fine with that. I would not have anything. Now
Yeah.
there are some guests who make a lot of you will cry about these things. That, why are you not serving this? So I mean,
Tell
there are
me
three
about
things completely I can get from the story. Very
tell,
powerful.
tell me about it. Okay. So I have been a host on a few occasions, and some guests have gone mad at me for not having certain things in the menu of their choice. And I was like, oh my God. Well, yeah, that's thank you, Parish, for sharing those two takeaways from the story. Uh, okay, anybody else wants to share something? Well, I hear that as a no. But in the beginning, before all of you joined, Priya and I were having a conversation, and I think if you've looked at the chat earlier today in the TTC group, I think we have a topic for next week. And thank you, Priya, for bringing this uh, to our notice. I think we can talk about the things that are happening around us, with the way agile is being interpreted and the way people are acting on it, and the things that we can do to make our lives easy working in agile projects. Now, I cannot forcefully say that okay, my way is the right way, but we can definitely find a set of practices that we can follow um, in order to make our lives easy when we are working in agile projects. So that can be a topic that will be the topic for the discussion next week. Priya, I really appreciate.
Brijesh, if I may recommend something,
Please.
yeah, of course, what Priya and all of us have been talking on the group, that should be a topic for one of the meetups. I think continuing with what we are discussing today on leadership, if we can speak on something like the power of storytelling, I think our new generation folks, they need that art of storytelling if they have to become good leaders. So if we can spend some time on that, if not next week, probably after that or sometime, but something on the power of
Yeah,
storytelling,
I,
we
I,
can do.
I kind of concur with you, and storytelling I think is also important because storytelling is a very important attribute of a tester as well. And since we are all testers, I think that's also a good topic. So okay, let's have a discussion. Priya, I will probably chat with you since you suggested since the topic of discussing agile and way of working came with a discussion with you. Let's plan something and let's take it in one of our meetups, maybe the next one or maybe the one after that. Let's plan something and I will keep you updated. We'll have a discussion. Parish, maybe we should coordinate with you as well. And uh, let's plan. Let's plan.
Sure,
Uh,
sure, Brijesh.
I
Thank
think,
you.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. I think Gaurav has made a like valid point in the chat that there should be something kind of webinar first, so that some things are already clear, and then maybe we can have a discussion.
Agree. Agree. Good suggestion, Gaurav. Good suggestion. Well, so again, if you want to have a webinar, who should be the speaker in that webinar? Do you have any suggestions, Gaurav?
Webinar on what? Agile or storytelling?
Agile. Storytelling can be the next
Okay.
of this. Yeah. Well, I have a name in my head, Sachin Sharma, but his availability is a bit of a question mark for me because he's in his hometown now. I don't know if he will be back by next week. I'm not sure, but Sachin can definitely do it. He's an agile practitioner. Uh, Comes with a lot of first-hand knowledge. I think he got his Scrum training done by Ken Schwaber. I think directly, or Jeff Sutherland, one of those two guys directly, one to one. He had that interaction on Scrum. He knows a lot of stuff uh, and can help us do that webinar very well. So that's one suggestion that I have. Unless you have other speakers in mind, if you have, then please suggest. We can maybe have 2 3 people collaborating and doing the webinar as well. Yeah, so let's do some planning around it on the webinar dates. There is a different webinar coming up this weekend, and that is on concepts in AWS. There'll be an announcement soon, today or by tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's what we have in store. So that was it for today. Can we all turn on our cameras so that we can have a group picture before we say bye? Mamta, Parish, Priya.
Not turning on.
Electricity is not there.
Oh. No, it's okay. We understand it's a Sunday, so pajamas are also fine. It's and Gaurav, your look changes every week. How do you manage that? I, I seriously have that question. Mamta? Okay, I took one picture. I know some people are not able to turn on their cameras, which is fine. Uh, well, thank you everyone for joining in the discussion. It was good. I look forward to seeing you next week. We will continue this discussion maybe, and we will get on storytelling. That's a very good idea, Parish. Thank you for suggesting that. Thank you for giving us some more directions. Maybe I need to coordinate more with you on getting the topics for these meetups. Uh, we'll
Sure.
do we'll do that. Uh, I also have another idea, Parish. I will chat with you separately um, because I need some suggestion. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the Sunday and have a good working week. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Brijesh. Thank you.
Thank
Wish
you.
you the same. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye.